Hello and welcome in our YouTube channel Metallurgical Facts. So this video series is basically for HAL Management Trainee Exam 2021 and we are doing only metallurgical engineering part for this HAL 2021. Okay, so before this I have already given one part of this video series and this is basically part 2 of this video series. So I hope that you will understood some concept and some new things in this video series. Try to do the practice of metallurgical engineering question as much as you can for getting shortlisted for an interview in HAL Management Training Exam 2021. So now we'll start. So the first question is from mechanical metallurgy part. So the elastic strain energy, this is very important. The elastic strain energy of edge dislocation is related to its Berger vectors. Okay. So for edge dislocation and for screw dislocation, we can show the elastic strain energy separately, and sometimes they may ask only for dislocation also by merging those things. Okay. So you should be ready for those questions, those type of questions. Here we will see the elastic strain energy of edge dislocation. Okay, so is elastic strain energy, we can say elastic is equals to elastic strain energy of edge dislocation is per unit length is basically gb square 4 pi, and Poisson's ratio also comes into the picture. Okay, so gb square by 4 pi 1 minus nu multiplied by ln r by r naught. Okay, so there is a derivation for this type of formula. I will not do that. You can find this in Dieter book or in Vijendra Singh also. Okay, so this is very important formula, and here in this question they are asking that this edge dislocation, this elastic strain energy is related to the Berger vectors. How this is related? Okay, so this elastic strain energy is basically related to E proportional to B square, means this is proportional to the square of the Burgess vector. Okay, so the first part is directly proportional. This is not correct, because if this will be related by like that, E proportional to B, then this option may be correct. The second part is proportional to the square of the Burgess vector, so this is correct answer, E proportional to B square, so this is correct. C part is proportional to the square root of the Burgess vector, so this is wrong, every option, so this is also wrong. Okay, so B part is correct for this question. The next question is, superplastic materials have an index of strain rate sensitivity M in the range of. Okay, so one of the formula that you must have heard about, the power law. So this sigma is equals to A d epsilon by d dt the power m. Okay, so this m is basically strain rate sensitivity, and this m is equals to 0.2 for common metals, for general metals, okay, metals or alloys, and this m value will be 0.4 to 0.4 to 0.9 if the material exhibits superplastic behavior. Okay, so what is this superplastic behavior? This is basically the behavior at it means that the metals that is deformed by several hundred percentage of strain without necking, so it can sustain the larger stress. Okay, so this means this superplastic means that that is deformed by the several hundred percentage of strain without necking. Okay, so the examples of superplastic are some of the stainless steel, some of the stainless steels are the example, and aluminum alloys are also example of superplastic material. Okay, so so the main quality that they possess are they have very fine grain size. So only if they have very fine grain size, they will be show the superplastic behavior. Okay, so for this question I have already told you that this m is equals to 0.4 to 0.9 for the superplastic material. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is C part. If they will ask about the common metals, we will put 0.2. Okay, this is for common metals. So the next question is very easy question. The chemical formula of Ustaite. Okay, Ustaite we need know. This is used in, this word is also used in blast furnace process. Okay, so the first option is FeS2, second Fe2O3, Fe3O4, and then Fe1 minus X O. Okay, so they have given the Fe1 minus X and O. So this FeS2 is basically pyrite, that is iron pyrite. Okay, so iron pyrite is also known as fool's gold. Okay, so this is one point. that you have to remember that this pyrite FeS2 is also known as fool's gold, means because of its appearance it is known as fool's gold. This the appearance of FeS2 is like gold. Okay, the B part is Fe2O3. This is basically hematite. We all know hematite is iron ore which is used for production of iron in blast furnace. Okay, through blast furnace route. So C option is magnetite. We all know this is magnetite. So this Fe1 minus XO is Oostite. We got the answer by the eliminating all other options. But we should know something about this Fe1 minus XO. Okay, so generally we use FeO for this type of compound. So whenever the elements present in are in not in simple ratio, means SiO2, Al2O3, these are in simple ratio because here is 1 and here 2, here 2, here 3, so these are in simple ratio. So these compounds are known as stoichiometric compound. Okay, stoichiometric compound and stoichiometric compound. So whenever the elements in the compound are not in simple ratio, means the ratio are in decimals, means the elements are in decimals. Suppose this Fe1 minus X O. Okay, so this will come in some fraction part. So this is not in simple ratio. So this type of compound is also known as non-stoichiometric compound. So most of you may heard about this non-stoichiometric compound. So this FeO is basically non-stoichiometric compound. So this X varies from value 0.86 to 0.97. Okay, so sometimes if they will give the value of this 1 minus X 0, so we will able to know that this is only Oostite also. Okay, so this FeO is non-stoichiometric compound, and this is not one value. This X value is 0.86 and 0.97, so this will come near about uh, 0.14 or something. Okay, so from here we can calculate the value of this FeO exactly, and this ratio, this X value also depends on pressure and temperature. Okay, so the pressure and temperature of the environment decides what value of this Fe will consist in chemical reactions. Okay, so this is all about the Fe1 minus X0, oh sorry, O, that is Oostite. Okay, so I am sure that you must understood this question. So the next question is, in maraging steels, martensitic formation is caused by the presence of. So they are asking about maraging steels. These steels are very important in applications point of view, and this is used in rocket, basically in rockets. Okay, so martensitic formation. They are asking about martensitic formation is caused by the presence of. So they have given four options, that they have given four elements in options. So this maraging steels is basically the term maraging is relate the term this maraging we can relate to the aging reactions. Okay, aging is basically precipitation strengthening, and this aging reactions in very low carbon martensitic steels for the development of ultra high strength steel. Okay, so this happens in low carbon steel, low carbon steels for producing the ultra high strength steels. Okay, so the composition of maraging steels is typically consist of nickel, carbon, and few other elements that like that cobalt, molybdenum, and titanium also. Okay, so the carbon percentage in this maraging steel is 0.03%. That is very low, and this is under the low carbon steel. And but the nickel percentage is 18%. Okay, so this is very high content. It generally varies from 16 to 19%. And this is basically these type of steels are solution treated. Okay, so we have to remember that these type of steels are solution treated uh, at temperature 820 degrees centigrade, sorry, 820 degrees centigrade, and after that they are air cooled to become air cooled to room temperature. Okay, so they do the air cooling for at the room temperature, and this results in the formation of martensitic transformation. Okay, so basically what happens, these steels are solution treated, then at the temperature 820, after that the air cooled to the room temperature, and that's by this we get the martensitic structure. Okay, so we get martensitic structure, and for getting this martensitic structure, this nickel is only responsible for this type of martensitic structure. Okay, so the correct option for this question is nickel. So nickel is the correct answer. Also cobalt and cobalt present in maraging steel, but it is not responsible for the martensitic transformation. Okay, and the these type of steels are very high toughness is very high for this type of steels, where weight to strength ratio is required. They use the maraging steels. Okay, so the next question is, formation of cold shut in forging is caused by which of the following factors? So they have given the three factors, and we need to choose the options from this, the combination of these three statements. So this cold shut is basically the defect of forging, and if we will classify the forging process, so this is defect which is happened in closed die forging basically. So this closed die forging, and this defect is also known as fold. So what happens during this forging process, the material, the in cold shut, the discontinuity produced where in two surfaces of the metal fold against each other without welding completes. Okay, so without filling the materials, they fold on the other surfaces. Okay, so that is called the cold shut, and this cold shut is done by the few factors that is I am writing here. So these are the factors which is responsible for this cold shut. So these are the sharp corners. The next thing is excessive chilling. Excessive chilling is also one factor that is responsible for cold shut. The next thing is high friction, and the last one is small die radius. So these are the four factors. These are only four factors which is responsible for cold shut in forgings. So now we will see which factors are written here, and we will match our options. So two small die radius are written here, and this is also here. Excessive chilling is here, and excessive chilling is here. High friction is also here, high friction is also here. So these three are correct for this question. So we will see the option, this option A matches with our this statement. Okay, so this 1 2 3 is correct for this question. So the option A is correct. Thank you guys for your attention. Hope you have understood something new in this video, and you have understood the concepts I told you in this video. We will come with some more videos in this video series. Try to do the practice of mathematical questions with this practice series, and try to share these videos with your friends so that they may also practice the questions for the HAL management training exam. Thank you.